Hey, here we are. Here we are. This is a momentous day. Not really, but to me, it's a day that I kick myself in the head for not thinking about earlier. And the reason for that is for the first time ever, I am live streaming not only to my normal Duff channel, but also to EUC, the EUC Army channel. And the EUC Army channel is just specialized. Let's see, cut my head off a little bit. Let's see if we can get it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. I'm looking at the vertical stream and the horizontal stream, so I'm just trying to line myself up with both. What was I saying? So, anyways, yeah, this is the first time I've ever live streamed to EUC Army YouTube channel, and it's an oversight. It's been an oversight for me to not have done this in the past. StreamYard has the ability to stream to multiple locations, and my EUC Army channel is nothing but PEV videos. And since this live stream is overwhelmingly focused on PEV content, I've been doing them without including my channel that is dedicated to PEV content. So it's kind of stupid, right, on my part. But it's been corrected now. In addition, we are again utilizing the feature where you can watch this in a vertical format, which is more agreeable to phone viewing, or a horizontal format. If you find yourself on the vertical format and you don't like it, you can hop over to the horizontal format. I should probably post a link to the horizontal format. Let me do that. Hold on. I'll put this in the vertical format chat because sometimes it makes it easier for people to hop over. So let's see. Let's go here. I should have done this ahead of time, actually. Sorry about that. Go here. That should be vertical. Yes, it is. I'll put it on the chat over here. Horizontal. And there's also a vertical and horizontal stream on EUC Army as well. In addition, this is also going to Twitch. So yeah, it's going all over the place, man. All over the place. All right, what was I gonna do? Oh wait, I do have my. It's a Wednesday evening, so we're not gonna go crazy, but I do have one alcohol here. I don't really have much alcohol in the house at all right now, actually. But and I don't know that I have tons of gas in the tank that I can go for a real long time, but we'll see what we can do. Cheers. All right. Those of you that are not familiar with the stream, this is Dust PEV live stream. This is number 121. Yes, I have approximately, I don't know how accurate that number is. It's in the ballpark. I have approximately 121 live streams on my channel. I do them periodically. The last live stream was a little over 3 weeks ago. You never really know when they're going to hit, but one is hitting tonight. I've been once I catch up on my original or not my original, my normal podcast that I listen to. Once I get caught up on those, I usually switch over and I start listening back to old live streams. Like right now, I'm on PEV live stream 54, which is actually the PEV live stream from New Year's Eve 2021. Kind of interesting, because that was a time in my life shortly after I broke up with Cindy. So yeah, there's a little bit of a turmoil going on back there. So it's kind of interesting going back and listening to these things. At least for me, it is. I welcome you to do the same, though, of course. All right, so I wanted to recognize my channel members. We are still in the 30s with our channel members, 33 channel members. And I like to recognize them both in videos and in live stream. So let me get them up here. Share that screen. Let's share the entire screen. Screen one, share. There we go. And let's make me small. Okay. All right. This is in order of length of being a member, shortest to longest. Mike Day, Darrow Samade, Pacific Northwest 360, Epicure, Steve-O, Marcus Sweden, Wens Joe, Animated Limb, Spitfire, Mr. Rexy, Timothy Plumley, Brian McCann, Scampster, Blue Collar Jose, Philip Arnold, Planet Iceland, who actually lives in Iceland. Look, they fixed this. Now, remember how like every time I would scroll, it used to flip me back down to the bottom. Now it actually lets me scroll. I guess Google fixed something. DJ Whiteflower, Babbitt to Wabbit, Electric Unicycle, Dale, who just checked in, A Viking, Brian Gonzalez, Michelle Bardaly, MUC EUC on air promo, also known as Larry Zarkoff, Medium Dog, Doug Yetman, Ratman Murray, Simon Nisms, formerly known as E. Simon, Rocky Top, BC, Pitt was here. Pitt was here must have changed his name because I don't recognize that name, but it's someone that's been a member for 52 months. So I'm not sure who Pitt was here is anymore. I guess I could compare it back to my old live streams, but I don't know off the top of my head. Senator Perry, Marty, as in Marty Eakin, not Marty Backey, and AULD Moner. Is that all of them? Yes, that's it. Those are all of my current members. So if I do, let's see if I do that. Okay, good. That's what I need to do it. So what's up, guys? How's everything doing? Let me go back here and check with the chat. Usually the first part of the live stream is me just trying to catch up with chat. We have, looks like these are some people that just randomly found it. See, that's one of the things with the vertical format, the phone format. It'll get pitched to a lot of new faces. Most probably won't stick around, but some will. Fear Gabe, that's probably someone that just popped in. Let's see, Emily Vera. Okay, someone, again, just curious. And Metric Muse probably has no idea what the F is going on either. As I mentioned, Dale's here. Dale, the person that is getting a new Lynx S. You haven't gotten it yet, right? Yet, Dale. Is that correct? You do not have the Lynx S yet? Dale said, can't stay just now in the hospital with my mom. I'll tune in as soon as I can. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope she's doing okay. That is bad news. Emily, what's the stream for? The stream is for primarily personal electric vehicles. It's about that, and even more primarily electric unicycles. But if you stick around, you'll see that all kinds of things are actually talked about, but that is the primary focus normally. Dodge 7. It looks like I'm gonna have to put you in the timeout. I'll put you in timeout and we'll see how nice you are, and maybe I'll just ban you. Dale prefers horizontal. Yeah, some people do, because you get to see a little background, you get to see the RGBs, get to see more of my office. Some people don't care. But like if I display something on the screen, it's easier to see in the horizontal format, obviously. But different strokes for different folks. Allison Beal, you look familiar. Well, I have been told I look like a lot of different people during my lifetime, so maybe that's why. Allison. Brady's here. Willie Brady's in. Brady, you're not normally in. You usually like sneak in at the end of a live stream. I'm glad you're in here early. I saw some posts of yours on social media this week. What the hell was it about? I forget. I just remember the camera was very close to your face, but I don't remember what the hell you were saying. Dale says, where's everyone else in the chat? They on vertical mode? Well, like I can tell you who's on what. Like Brady's on the phone. Allison's on the phone. I think if you're watching on the phone, Dale, it's gonna assume that you want to watch it in the vertical format. But if you look at the link in the chat, you can switch over. PJ's here. Howdy, Duff. My turn to have the flu, fever 101. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I was sick, I took my temperature a couple times, and I think the highest I got was like 99.7 or something like that. And even though I'm over that illness, which basically took out a good chunk of my December, including my birthday, including Christmas, I'm not sick in that way, but I am still having issues with coughing. I've been having coughing fits still, believe it or not. They're getting less. I mean, it's getting less and less over time, but they are still around. So it's kind of crazy the way this thing lingers. Not in a good way. It's annoying. Oh, also, this is just in case you aren't keeping track. This is the first live stream of 2026. So there's that. Just testing to see if my Stream Deck works. I don't even know why I have the thing. Half the time it doesn't work. Although it does tell me how many users, channel views, and videos I have in the channel. Did you know I have 2,301?
Extreme.
Oh, it did work. Okay, it just took a while. See.
Extreme.
Okay, that does work. My extreme button does still work. Anyways, you know I have 2,301 videos currently on the channel. Dale says it should be at my place when I get back to Queensland. The Lynx S? Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you said about it. We'll talk about the Lynx S for sure, because what a lot of people's initial assumptions were about it, including mine, apparently seemed to be misguided, and we'll talk about that more. Scampsters here from the UK, or UK from Australia. Yeah, Scampster, I still didn't get my Snapmaker U1. It's been annoying me. I've seen people that said that they did their pre-order in October that supposedly have gotten their printer already, and I did mine in September. And as far as I know, the last update I got from Snapmaker was I'm not going to see it until like mid-February sometime. Not the end of the world, because I have three Bamboo Lab printers, but still, it's been quite a few months. Mason Jez Electrified. Hi, Duff. Hey, Mason Jez Electrified. I don't think I've ever seen you in a live stream before, but welcome. There might be some new people here because, like I said, this is the first live stream that's going out over EUC Army, which is presumably people that just care about PEV. So I'm hoping to get some new faces in here and let them know that there's 121 episodes of a PEV live stream that they may or may not even know about. Bale says the chat isn't over the video on horizontal. Yeah, right. Yeah. The chat on vertical is weird too. Yeah, I know. That is weird. But all the chats, if you haven't noticed, on the screen in the bottom right-hand corner, all the chats from all of the sources, both channels, even Twitch, shows up here in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you are looking for an aggregated view of all the chat, it is on the screen. Spartacus letting people that are on their phone how to like the stream. I appreciate that, Spartacus. Double tap your phone screen to like the stream. And if you're new, subscribe. Thanks, buddy. Currently, we're sitting at 1,711 subscribers on the main channel. Something like 2,300, I think, on EUC Army. So between the two channels, we're getting close to 20,000. I would love to have 20,000 just on the Duff channel, but, still not bad. Allison, how am I today? I'm okay. I'm okay, Allison. It's about 8:14 where I live. I don't know where you're at, and it's a school night. I got to go to work tomorrow, so we can't go crazy. But all in all, I'm doing good. I had a good holiday. I'm happy I'm not sick anymore, or not really sick anymore. And 2026 is looking up. Brady says, "Oh, the drag." Yes, it was a draggy video. Yeah, it's funny. I actually have it. I don't even know if I still have it. I probably don't. I actually had a draggy, Brady, that I was using to time 0 to 60 times on my Tesla when I first got it. And I think over the years, I think I might have lost it or thrown it out when I moved accidentally. So, but yeah, I am familiar with what a draggy is. Cool. They're supposed to be very, very accurate. Simon is good day. Happy New Year, all. Happy New Year to you, Simon. I also did post not this past weekend, the weekend before, right? Yeah. my first riding video of 2026, which happened to be on my veteran patent. Felt good. Oh, so Dale's okay. So your mom's going home today, Dale. Okay, good. That's good. Glad to hear that. Scamster, you just bought 2 P2Ss, really? You know I have a P2S, right? I had a P1S and I replaced it with a P2S. It's actually printing something right now, and it's so quiet that you guys probably can't hear it. I have dual AMSs on the P2S, and just yesterday, if you follow my channel, you'll see I posted a video yesterday, the day before. I just got a Panda Perch for my big H2S, so I can put dual AMSs on that as well. The only problem is right now, Bamboo Lab has no AMSs in stock, and they are not going to be available until February either. So I won't be getting a second AMS for that for the H2S until then. Scamster. Your name is Simon. Oh, dude, you blow my mind. Scamster is Simon as well. I prefer Scamster personally, but okay, well that's good to know. I'll make a mental note of that, Scamster. That you're Simon too. Dale says not having everyone chatting in the same chat loses a little of what's great about lives. Well, I mean, Dale, you can see what's going on the screen, right? You can see that. I believe you should. I wish I guess after the fact I can see how many people hit it both ways. But right now, most of the people that are in the chat are on the widescreen format. Brady's on this phone, but most are. Scamster said bought the first, liked it, bought another. Yeah, I like it a lot. I forget. I think you told me before your printer count, but I don't remember how many you have, Scamster. I know you have more than me. But yeah, the P2S for the money, I think, is a great little printer. I like all the little quality of life improvements that they did to the P2S. I really do. First and foremost, the real screen instead of that little annoying LCD screen that the P1S had. That thing was annoying. Oh, Dale says, okay, I got you. That the chat looks too small on the phone in the corner. Well, I think there's a way to bring up the chat conventionally on the phone as well, Dale, which Spartacus can probably tell you, which I know there is actually. I just don't remember how to do it because I never watched live streams on a phone. But I know you can bring chat out. 9 printers. Oh my goodness, Scamster. All right. That's a serious investment. I mean, at one point I had 9 or 10 when I was really printing the stands, the EUC stands. But now I have a total of 3, and once the Snapmaker shows up, I will have 4, and I shall have no need to expand beyond that, at least not in the foreseeable future. And I do the majority of my printing on the H2S and the P2S. The A1 I was having an issue with that I corrected a week ago or something like that, so I hadn't been printing on that much, and for some reason I just found myself gravitating to using the H2S and the P2S more, even though the build volume on the P2S and the A1 is the same basically. But I don't know. I just prefer using the P2S. So okay, it looks like I'm caught up on chat. So let me look at some of the things that I wrote down here. I know I talked about it in my video about the accident that Kuji had on his P6 where he ran into a scooter over in China at a decent speed, and he went from whatever speed he was going to 0 basically, and somersaulted off the P6. Broke a couple bones. I think he mentioned a concussion. There might be additional injuries I'm not aware of, but I really haven't heard any updates from him since then. I don't know if anybody else has. If he's doing okay, I don't know. I heard the first thing I heard was the scooter had the green light, and then I heard later that I guess there was a vehicle, like a van, that was on the road that basically blocked each of their view of one another, which contributed to the crash. So yeah, I don't know. And it's not like, who's at fault really matters. I'm just glad Coogie's okay. But I am curious if there's been any sort of update on his health that I do not know about or I have not seen. But it looked bad, and it could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. Scamster is not sure about buying an H2C. I'm not either. The H2C, you will use less filament, but I heard that the print time savings are not dramatic, not nearly as dramatic as on the U1. It's still the H2C is still kind of slow. So yeah, I will not buy an H2C. Simon says that accident was crazy. He did a full flip. Yeah, I saw. I have let's see. Whoops. See if I can find this. I grabbed the screenshot of it that I put in my video. Where is it? Of him upside down. Come on now. There it is. There he is, flipping mid-flip. Does not look fun, does it? So has anyone else heard any updates about that or not? And I wonder if he got his P6 working again. I didn't hear any details about the extent of the damage to the P6 either. Move. But it looked really bad. And he was very lucky. And my point that I made in the video where I mentioned it was just illustrated why it's so important to be geared up all the time. Even someone that has the skill level of Coogee and the experience of Coogee, it can still F you up, man. It can still F you up. And then, oh, you sucker. Go back. I had something loaded up here, and Facebook has this feature where, like, if you haven't had the page in focus for a little while, it'll automatically like reload the homepage, and then if you had something up, you lose it. But I also, let's see, can I share this? Let's see if I can share this. You guys ever see this guy talking about being safe? This old guy, Raheem Mosher, riding his Master Pro around. He's always riding in shorts and no shirt and no gear. And I don't know if he's doing it just to annoy people. Like in this video here, he got up to 52 miles an hour, evidently, with no gear. I don't know what he's saying. I don't really care. But it just... I don't know. I guess the guy just feels lucky. I guess he thinks that he'll be fine. It's just not smart, right? It's just not smart, guys. But I've seen him a few times. I mean, I don't even give him the energy to comment on the videos because they're so ridiculous. But those are the kind of people that Darwin will basically take care of those people. Because it is kind of crazy. And speaking of something else, that this was right around Christmas, the video of Opsum. I think she was wearing just body paint, right? Is that correct? She was just wearing body paint, and she came off. What was she riding? Was it the motor? Yeah, it was like an electric motorcycle, and she popped the wheelie. I'm stretching I think it was the electric motorcycle. So I thought she popped the wheelie and she came off the back and she drug her bare ass on the road. I never saw like a picture of exactly how bad her injuries were. I mean, hopefully she's okay. But I mean, it was just ridiculous. For years and years and years, she's been wearing next to nothing when riding, and people have always said that that's not smart. And this was the worst example of seeing her pay for that decision to not wear gear, uh, dragging her bare ass on the road. Scamster says, I think I've changed my mind buying the P6 though. Don't need it. My L is fine. Yeah, that's been kind of my viewpoint, because when I was reviewing the P6, I said at the time that it's the best wheel that I ever tested, and that's true. It's absolutely true. The best wheel, hands down, that I ever rode and tested. But that being said, when you step away from the high and the excitement of riding that awesome but very expensive wheel, and I took a realistic view of, okay, well, what do I, in my current circumstances, do I benefit greatly, or do I need a P6 in a significant way? And of course, the answer was no. So I've not done anything in regards to buying a P6. May I get one in the future? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I remember thinking I initially wanted a V13 when they were new, and I didn't get one. But then down the road, I got one used. So who knows? Maybe that's what I'll do with the P6 as well. Who knows? Scamster said, although I might trade my links for the new S, but it doesn't have some air involved in its suspension. For the new the Lynx S? No, as far as I know, the suspension is hydraulic. It's not an air suspension, unless I'm missing something. I'll talk about what I know at least. Simon says his P6 has a cracked battery case. Oof, ooh, not good, and it's not working. Well, I heard that the scooter was trashed. So yeah, maybe the side of the wheel, hit the scooter dead on, T-boned it, and cracked the battery case. Green Master Mike, hey, what's up? How's the P6 treating you? I don't have a P6, Mike. The P6 that you saw me riding for a couple weeks was the demo that Johnny Go Vroom has. Still, I do not own a P6. Mike says Kuji is good. He got it. He got checked out, but I heard he broke a rib. Okay, I thought I heard he broke more than a rib. Scamster, do you dry your filament by any chance? I do not have a filament dryer, but ironically, it's ironic you said that this week I did print little 5 little holders that go in the AMS in between the slots where the feeder motors are, that you fill up with desiccant beads, and then they have a sliding cover. There's a video on my channel for the Scamster it's on the main channel. You put in desiccant beads and you drop it in there, and it's supposed to dry out the filament. It does seem to be working. When I first put it in to the AMS, one of my AMSs, the filament was reading a humidity, because I also included a hydrometer in there, a temperature gauge / hydrometer that also reads humidity. When I first put it in there, it said the humidity was somewhere in the neighborhood of 32%, I believe. As of this morning, the humidity reading in that AMS is now 21%. So it does work. The downside of that is you have to refresh the desiccant. Either buy new desiccant, or I think you can put the desiccant in the oven for a period of time and dry it back out, even though I don't think I would actually do that. I would think I would just put fresh desiccant in. But yeah, it's I've never had a significant issue with my filament from being overly wet, but drier filament is better filament. So yeah, I do have a drying solution in there now. Someone just did a $10 super chat. Who did that? Mr. For Real. $10 super chat. Oh, thanks, buddy. Duff, if only one V12S or Patent S. Oh boy, I've been asked this question a few times, Mr. Real. Let me find your comment here so I can throw it up here. It depends. If you are I mean, the Patton S is a 126 volt wheel. The V12S is only 84 volts. Now, despite being 84 volts, it still has some pretty impressive performance, but it's not going to perform like a 126 volt wheel. You know, the top speed, the listed top speed on a V12S is 70 kilometers an hour, or 43 miles an hour. Top speed on a Patton is you can get close to 50 on a Patton. Patton has a bigger battery, 2200 watt hour battery. A Patton is more expensive. The V12S is now back to its regular price of $23.99, which I think is a bit unfortunate. I think it was a much better value at $19.99. And the V12S has a lot more creature comforts. The V12S has that awesome full color screen, large full color screen. V12S has the cellular modem that allows you to find your wheel if it was stolen. The V12S has RGB lighting on the sides of the wheel that are cool. V12S has a Bluetooth speaker. The Patton does not have that. V12S probably has a superior headlight. And the V12S also has a built-in USB-A and USB-C charger as well, which is nice to have, to be able to charge your phone or other devices on the fly. So it's kind of what matters to you more. If you want a better performing wheel, the Patton. Suspension-wise, the suspension on the V12S actually has more travel and and probably is as good, if not slightly better, than what's on the Patton. So it's kind of what are your priorities when it comes to a wheel? I own both. And when I did my last ride, I said that one of the reasons I wanted to take the Patton out is I wanted to affirm that it was still my favorite wheel that I own. And I think it still is, but I think I need to ride the V12S more to get more accustomed to it. I think I'm more accustomed to the Patton than the V12S, and I think that makes a difference. So I'm a tech guy. I like bells and whistles. So that stuff does appeal to me on the V12S. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Simon. That's old Padless Raisin. Oh, is that his nickname? Padless Raisin? Guy's weird, man. Okay, the guy's well. I figured that was the point of doing it. The guy Simon says the guy is rage baiting for views. He's going to end up a meat crayon. Option video was AI. She's fine. Oh, that was. Are you serious? Was it really? No kidding. Usually I can spot that pretty clearly. Are you sure that was AI? No shit. Well, son of a gun. Now I feel dumb because all the time I see people, including some of my AI videos, thinking that they're real. I'm like, oh, come on, you can tell that's AI. And I thought I was good at sniffing it out. I guess I'm not as good as I thought. But the bald guy with no clothes on other than shorts, that's not AI, right? Or maybe it is. You tell me, Simon. Okay, so Dale evidently thought that the Opsum crash was real. I don't know. It did not look like AI. But who knows? Spartacus says rolling no condom isn't smart. Yeah, definitely not smart. Like I said, that'll work itself out one way or the other. Dale says that video looked very real to me. And Dale said that he saw a follow-up video saying that how she couldn't do things for a week, but she's fine now. I'm leaving out some details. Spartacus says, "You mean full body paint didn't offer any protection?" Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe that she was thinking that would offer some sort of, maybe she could slide or something. I don't know. But now I'm going to have to find it again and review it and see if my AI alarm goes off. Channel member Mr. Rexy is here. What's up, buddy? Welcome. Dale think Marty, yeah, this is something I want to talk about in regards to the Lynx S, because this is kind of interesting strategy, which I've talked about with you, Dale, a little bit. Do I think Marty and Roger will promote Next Gen in their Lynx S videos? I know they support e-wheels, but Next Gen paid for the shipping on their Lynx S's. Well, I know Marty in his video, you know, like his smirky what's the, like his Cheshire cat grin, you know, when he gets new wheels, because it's like, hey, I got this and you don't. He did mention Next Gen in the description that it was coming from Next Gen. I don't watch Roger's content, so I don't know what Roger's been doing. But and I believe Sean in New York City also was sent one from Next Gen as well, right? But yeah, I want to talk about that whole strategy. It's kind of interesting to me. Scamster says, if you do start drying filament, get Creality Space PI4, best dryer I've used. I've got 3 and I've tested a few, believe me. Okay. I will make a mental note of that, Scamster. Brady says, regarding Optimus, she was riding the Extreme Wheel A1 she got from Extreme Wheel. Okay, so yeah, it was a motorcycle though, right? Is my memory incorrect? So by that description, Brady doesn't seem to think that it was AI either. Mason Jazz Electrified says, I think there's an air chamber in the bottom of the Lynx S suspension back to linear springs as well. Really? That doesn't make sense to me. Why? If that's, well, I guess I can, hold on. I can do a little quick search here on Next Gen. Let's see what they say about the suspension. Less. Yeah, it's interesting that the Lynx S is actually 5 pounds more, right? Okay, suspension perfection. Blah, blah. Linear springs. Oh, it does say the Lynx S has a lower air chamber. Huh. It provides inherently progressive resistance, which it sounds like it's designed so it can't bottom out, I guess. Okay. All right. Okay, I stand corrected. I did not hear that until reading that here. That's interesting. I'd be interested in seeing. I don't remember that being mentioned by like Jack's video on it. I just heard that it was a hydraulic suspension. I did not hear anything about the air chamber. Interesting. Let's see. Does it mention the travel? 90 millimeters of suspension travel, which is the same suspension travel as a V12S, actually. Scamster said, Descant will keep filament that's already dry, that's in your AMS drive, but not for actively drying filament. Okay, gotcha. I mean, since I'm in Florida, my house, I have the air conditioning turned on all the time. And as a result, air conditioning does dry out the air inside the house significantly. So maybe that's why I've not had significant problems with the wetness in filament over the years, because they're always in air conditioning. If they weren't, I think it would be more of an issue. Brady says the A1 is a great bike. Check them out on Extreme Wheel. We just released the new GS 116, 116 volt. Really? That's high for an electric motorcycle, isn't it? Yeah, that is high. Very nice. So what, you're associated with Extreme Wheel, Brady? Scamster loves his V12S, close to my fave wheel, just no good range compared to my other wheels. Well, yeah, because it's only, what's the battery in the V12S? 1300 watt hours? I should know this. 1440. Okay, 1440 watt hour, which is a pretty standard battery configuration for an 84 volt wheel, because the Kingsong 16X was the same battery capacity. Yeah, I think I'm just not as comfortable in the V12S as far as the feel. The patent feels like I don't know, the patent just feels very familiar, very easy to get accustomed to, very easy for me to feel confident on. The V12S, I don't have that same degree of confidence yet, but it's probably mostly from not riding it as much as I need to. PJ, did I get a flu shot before I got sick? I got mine. I think that's why this isn't completely kicking my ass. No, I did not. I've only had one flu shot like in the last 25 years. Yeah, sometimes a flu shot will do that. It will help you. Sometimes it won't if they give you a flu shot for the strain that is not predominant that season. Stealth Slayer. Wait, what video? I don't know, Stealth Slayer, which video you're asking about. We've talked about a few here. Brady says she definitely crashed. That wasn't AI. She told us she crashed the bike. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Brady. And then my AI detector still is working 100%. Thank you very much. Because Simon had me thinking I was losing my touch. Mason Jez, it wasn't AI. Okay. All right. All right. I feel assured that it was not AI. Stealth Slayer, the V9 and V12S both have an 84-volt wheel. How does V12S have a higher top speed? The V12S has a much more powerful motor than the V9. The V12S has a 2,500 watt motor, 50S cells. I just happen to have the V12S specs up in front of me right now, and a system board that's designed for high performance as well. That's how. I mean, to be quite honest, the V12S meets my needs as far as performance goes. Realistically, it really does. Okay, Dale said E-Wheels wound up sending the Lynx S to Sean. Okay. Scamster, Marty's been quiet lately. No videos in a while. Well, that's because Marty has been wrapped up. If you did not know, Marty is doing a huge renovation / addition to his house, which is getting close to completion. But he has drastically modernized and expanded his house, and that has taken up a lot of his focus and time. That is why. So, and why don't I watch Roger's video? There's I have very good reasons for that, but I won't be discussing them on live streams. So Brady is tied to Extreme Wheel US. Cool, dude. Nice. I did not know that. Spartacus pimping the stream again. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Dale, EUC Army shirts available from Duff. Buy yours now. I don't actually have them for sale on the store, Dale. I guess someone could buy one. Those of you that don't, I think I might have talked about this in the last live stream, or maybe I talked about this in the last members only live stream, that I actually do have new EUC Army shirts. Hold on. They're based on the new logo, which I made last year. EUC Army. There's a logo on the front. EUC Army enlist with the future. On the back, EUCArmy.com. Got a bunch of those. Yeah, I don't know that I want to put them in the store. Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking more in the terms that I just give them away, like as part of future live streams or promotions. I don't know. But there is one en route to Australia to Dale. One is going to Dale. Really, I mean, if any channel members want one, if you reach out to me privately at duff@eucarmy.com, I can hook you up. And I have one going out to Larry in Los Angeles as well. And I have one, and I gave my girlfriend one. So I still have a good amount of them left. Stealth, the crash video. Coogie's crash or Opsum's crash? A lot of crashing going on. Okay, so all right, we've been beating around the bush here with the Lynx S. So when the Lynx S was announced, my assumption would be, okay, well, if they're gonna release a new version of the Lynx, they're gonna upgrade the voltage. It's not gonna be 151 volt wheel anymore. It's gonna be what's the Oryx? The Oryx is 210. What is the Oryx? Is it 210? I thought they would upgrade it, and they didn't. And when I heard that they didn't, and when I heard that it weighs 5 pounds more, I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of this? And I think a number of people had that initial feeling about the Lynx S, but now that people have been testing the wheel, there's been a lot of positive feedback. A lot. Okay, I'm going to bring this up on Next Gen, so this will help me speak about it. Still 151 volt wheel, same battery as well, 2700 watt hour battery. It is a more powerful motor, a 3800 watt motor. It has this Hall sensorless ability to ride, which is cool, and it's a safety feature. And on Jack's video, he kind of beat it to death, demonstrating this, riding the wheel and pulling the Hall sensor. And then he's riding the wheel and then doing a jump right after he pulled the Hall sensor to demonstrate how well it functions without a Hall sensor. I guess it functions better than the prior Librachem wheels did with this feature. But to me, it's cool and it's a great safety feature. But to me, I thought there was a little bit too much focus on that, because although Hall motor sensors fail, it doesn't happen much. So I thought it was kind of overemphasized, at least in Jack's video. But yeah, that's another feature of the S. The improved motor has 10,000 watts peak power. So, okay, because the original Lynx had a 3200 watt motor. And supposedly, it says here in the description, and it sounds like from the accounts of other people, it feels like much more. It just feels more powerful. Has great torque. The suspension, like we were talking about, the prior Lynx had the fast A suspension, right? A bunch of the Librachem wheels have fast A suspension. Librachem now is going the way that NOSFET has been going, and that's not surprising because of the close ties between NOSFET and Librachem, where Librachem now has an in-house version of a shock. I thought it was hydraulic only, but reading the description here, it does have a small air chamber, which looks like its primary function is to not allow it to totally bottom out. So that sounds like a good feature. And again, the feedback from people that I've seen is the suspension feels great. Feels really, really good. Reduced maintenance, greater, improved seals, tighter tolerances. Suspension is more resistant to dust and debris. Yeah, one of the issues of the Fast A suspension has been leaking. There's been problems with them leaking. So maybe that's better now. And that is one of the nice things about this, like compared to like the Apex and NOSFET Apex with that suspension. It's a great suspension, but you have to baby it all the time. You have to always be cleaning it because it gets dirty and gummed up. And unless you're constantly doing that, it does not perform well. With this configuration, there's much, much less of that, which is nice. Has a different headlight. I know that. Let's see. They've upgraded the pedals. Nice. They're real mountain bike spikes instead of like cast nubs. Let's see. They have physical temperature sensors instead of estimation algorithms. Okay. So better monitoring of temperatures. Headlight. Yeah, we said that. Better rigidity. Okay, it has less frame and chassis flex. That was one of the things that Dawn and some other people used to rag about the Lynx. Was there's a lot of flex. Like they would have it on its side and they push the tire and there was a lot of flex in the shell, um, which some people said led to the Lynx feeling less than stable in certain situations. Supposedly that is improved with the structural changes that they've made on the Lynx. That's good. Blah blah blah. So yeah, anyways, let's see, free spin, 150 kilometers an hour, maximum sustainable riding speed, 60 miles an hour plus. Well, that's definitely higher than the original Lynx as well. 5 amp charger, maximum 20 amp charger, 20 amp charging, but it weighs 93 pounds. So yeah, it is getting to be a little bit of a big boy. And a tubeless tire. So those are good specs, man. Right? And like I said, people have been positive about it. Now, what I was mentioning earlier, Dale asked about Marty and Roger pimping next gen. Roger especially has, or he had last time I knew, had like a special deal with eWheels where like he was getting like compensation above what most content creators do. I don't know if that's still the case or not. So it is kind of strange that next gen would send him a wheel directly. Marty's always kind of been like a "what have you done for me lately" kind of guy. Like he'll take a wheel from whoever will get it to him first. He doesn't really care whether it's e-wheels. I mean, for a while he was getting stuff from UCO. Like he'll take wheels pretty much from anyone that'll get them to him, especially if they're free or very low cost. So I would expect Marty to shout out to next gen. I don't think he's ever done anything for next gen before. And I thought that Sean in New York City was also getting one from Next Gen, but as Dale mentioned, he actually got it from eWheels. Now, ironically, Zen Lee has been promoting that he has the first Lynx S in the United States. And I don't know that that's true or not, but he got that at eWheels. So it's like Zen and eWheels like have this love hate relationship. Like there's been multiple times it's back and forth. Zen's talk trash about eWheels. eWheels gets pissed at Zen. I should say Lee. I always call him Zen, even though I know his name is Lee. But it's like a back and forth, and now evidently Zen's back in their good graces, or maybe eWheels is losing favor with some of the other content creators. I don't know. I personally have not talked to Jason in a long time, so I don't really know what's going on there. But I think it's interesting. I mean, it could be a good business move, for next gen to try to supply wheels to these other people as long as they don't have a problem with it. Like in the past, like I was offered wheels from other dealers in the past when I was getting demo wheels consistently from eWheels. And I've had a couple dealers come to me and ask me if I wanted a wheel. And I turned it down because I felt like I was loyal to Jason, because he had been taking care of me and letting me demo wheels. That isn't the case anymore. So yeah, I guess I would almost be from a Marty standpoint where, yeah, if you want to send me a wheel, send it to me. I'll review it. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. The next gen's trying to do that. It seems like the next gen is being very aggressive with their potential sales, which is good for them. And then there's the Aeon, which we can talk about that as well. I think I saw something on social media that Zen Lee was he actually has a riding video of the Lynx S that he's releasing to his channel members today or tomorrow, and then he'll release it to the rest of the public. I don't know that Marty's posted anything yet, so. But yeah, Lynx S. I was skeptical how good it would be, but it sounds like it's pretty good. One thing I neglected to see is what it costs. $36.99. Ooh, $36.99. Okay. I don't remember what the original links cost. Didn't the original links cost like 32 maybe? Because even though this is a good performer, I mean, it's still a 2,700 watt hour battery. It's not a huge battery. Um, I mean, I would personally would not pay $3,700 for a Lynx, but I wouldn't have bought the last Lynx either, the original Lynx either. So I might not be the best person to ask about that, and not because there's anything wrong with it, just because it didn't really suit my needs. Oh, Marty's here. Good, good, Marty. I have questions for you. PJ, how's whole California crowd? How's Dawn doing? Have you talked to her lately? No, I have not. I've not talked to Dawn lately. But as far as I know, she's doing well. She has a boyfriend, and hopefully everything's going great. Stealth Slayer 13. Wheel wattage, right. I have a V9. I want to upgrade to a V12S next and keep the V9 to reach my oldest. That's a good move. V9's a really good wheel. For the money, it's a great wheel, especially when it's on sale. Too bad it's not on sale anymore. Keep the V9 to reach my oldest and partner so we can both ride it with the audio sync. I also really like the V12S specs. Yeah. Feature-wise, the V12S is very difficult to beat. Performance-wise, not so much. It's not that hard to beat. Dale, okay, that's right. The Oryx is 176 volts. Thank you, Dale. So yeah, I was originally thinking the Lynx S would be 176 volts as well. Dale says slightly faster than the OG Lynx. They hit 90 kilometers an hour without hitting beeps with 80% PWM. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, it does have a folding stand, kickstand. So like if you're going down steps and stuff, sometimes the kickstand can get in the way or drop of some sort. You can fold it up so it's out of the way. Marty's here. Your ears must have been ringing. Dale says Lieber Kim sent the wheels. Next Gen paid the shipping. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. You did say that. Gotcha. Marty says Lieber Kim coordinated between Next Gen and E-Wheels as to who would sponsor Roger and mine wheels. So Lieber Kim coordinated that. So why is that? And isn't it weird that they would coordinate it that Roger would get a wheel from Next Gen when he supposedly has all these ties to E-Wheels? It's kind of weird, Marty. Kind of weird. Dale said Next Gen didn't want to pay for Zen. So Marty didn't get the batteries yet, but what? Zen Lee has a complete Lynx S. How's that work, Marty? How did Zen Lee get a complete Lynx S with batteries before you? Although if you ask him, I mean, he is the most popular PEV rider in the planet, based on his YouTube views, or not his YouTube views, his social media views, because he counts his stuff on TikTok, where he got like a number of viral videos on TikTok. So by his account, he's the most popular PEV rider on the planet. Dale says if Zen has a complete one already, he probably took the batteries off an OG Lynx to finish it off. I don't know. Maybe he'll review that in his video. He has not reviewed that as of yet that I have seen. Marty's going to paint mine since it's already apart. Let me guess, Marty, you're going to paint it red, right? Since that's your color. So if they're going to paint it, that means that or if you're going to paint it, that means it's your wheel, right? Another free wheel for you, Marty? Another free wheel. How many free wheels have you gotten, Marty, by the way? Do you have a like a free wheel spreadsheet or something where you track how many free wheels you've gotten? Painting the battery boxes or leaving them as is for better bonding with Velcro? I mean, if it's like his Sherman L, I think he painted everything, Dale. Marty says Dawn is selling her Panther. She has an upcoming surgery, so she's not going to be riding anytime soon. It's almost been a year. Marty, ding dong. Have you not looked at Dawn's YouTube videos? She is riding again. Yeah. She was riding smaller wheels, but she is riding. Yeah, she is riding again. I think on a video she says something like, whatever she said last year about not riding, it's a new year, so it didn't apply anymore. So yeah, I guess you're out of touch, Marty. I don't know how I would know more than you do, but yeah. But I did not know that she's selling her Panther, but that makes sense. It's too big of a wheel for her, anyways. Marty says, wait and see what color I paint it. Okay. I mean, if it was me, like if I was painting a wheel, I would paint it either orange or green. Now, with both those colors, shade matters. The shade of those colors matters. But if I was going to paint a wheel, that's what I would paint it. The thing is, I'm not going to be painting any wheels. Marty doesn't like the folding kickstand. It can fold too easily if you park it on a hill. Okay. Yeah, you would hope that there's enough of a friction there that it doesn't fold that easily, Marty, but yeah. Dale says Marty should tell him on the download so I don't pick the same color. You're gonna paint your wheel, Dale? You've never painted a wheel, Dale, have you? Okay, Dale, in regards to how Libra Kim decided what dealer was going to provide what wheels to which people, he said basically Libra Kim decide who's getting them, and it's up to us to pay the shipping. You know, I know Marty's had that happen before, but eWheels and NextGen stepped in to pay the shipping costs for them. So did NextGen offer to do that first, and then eWheels said, okay, well, we'll do that as well? Or did they both just offer that out of the kindness of their heart? Because this was not something that was done in the past. Allison Beal is still here. Hi, Allison. Marty says, I suspect eWheels received the wheel in parts and then assembled it to send to Zen. Mine and Rogers came direct from Libra Kim. Okay. Well, if that's the case, they did it pretty darn quick. But I mean, Zen lives out there, so I guess it wouldn't take long to get it. But I just think it's funny. If you heard me, Marty, talking a little bit ago, you know, like Zen and Jason have been. I mean, there's been threats of lawsuits. There's been all kinds of vitriol back and forth between them. It's kind of weird that like now Zen Lee is now going to be, you know, eWheels eWheels flagship content creator. That they're going to give him a Lynx S first before anybody else. It's weird, man. It's a weird world. Weird world. Dale likes red. Oh, I like red, but I wouldn't paint a wheel red. I had to pay for shipping. What do you mean you had to pay for shipping? What do you mean? On other wheels, right? Other free wheels. Okay. Wheels that you paid for shipping, but nothing else. That would be in the spreadsheet. I know this is probably the first time that someone's paid for your air shipping, or maybe not. I don't know. You're always working the backroom deals, Marty, so I can't keep up. Marty says she's not riding big boy. Well, no, you said she's not riding, Marty. There's a big difference. Come on, you're usually a detail-oriented person. That's an important stipulation. Because whether she's riding a big boy wheel or she's riding another wheel going 15 miles an hour, if she falls, it's probably going to be a bad thing with a reconstructed shoulder. Of course, I know she's riding. Of course. Okay. Marty says orange and green, puke. Of course, Marty, you would not approve of that. All right, I'm going to go grab one more Alcolo really quickly. I'll be right back. Sorry, I lied. A minute pit stop. Marty, you don't like anything I like. I mean, we both like electric unicycles, but that's about it. You don't like my beer. You don't like my hair. Dale says the pads I bought have the glow in the dark bits, so I might go for a blue. Okay. Sounds cool. Marty says it folds too easy. I speak from experience. Oh, so what? You've had it fold on the hill, evidently. I see. Marty said I could have paid the shipping myself, but why not accept free shipping? Well, as long as it doesn't, well, no, I guess no. There is no drawback to that, Marty. That's fine. I don't know if you're here, Marty, but I was saying basically I described that you're basically like a what have you done for me lately when it comes to like you'll accept a wheel from anybody, right? You'll accept the wheel from Next Gen, from E Wheels, from Yuko, from Libra Kim, from Bagode. Like you don't care, right? If they're going to give you a wheel, you'll take it. You don't care who it comes from. Marty had to pay the tariffs for the batteries and wheel, $150. Oh my God. The horror, Marty, the horror. Allison Beals got to go to bed. All right, no problem. Thanks you for stopping in, Allison. I appreciate it. All right, I am once again caught up. Good, because I can't go that long. So another wheel that's been getting a lot of hype that I again was sort of lukewarm about is the Aeon, right? The NOSFET Aeon. I mean, I think, and it's weird because like I know visually wheels, the visual of a wheel is not an important thing, but to me, I just thought it was kind of uninspired that it basically looked like an arrow that would just have been stretched out. It looks exactly like an arrow, but taller. But it has a much better power plant. It's a 16-inch wheel. It's 151 volts instead of 126. The battery, it's only 200 watt hour more battery. That's probably its biggest Achilles heel is it has a rather small battery, but it's 50 S cells. Has a top speed of 43 miles an hour, which is the same as the InMotion V12S, believe it or not, which is 84 volts. Maximum sustainable riding speed 35 to 40. Okay. Like I've only rarely had my V12S over 30. I don't feel comfortable on that wheel going over 30, but I definitely can. This has again not a fast A shock. This has the RFI OXA bidirectional damping shock, which I believe is the same company that makes the shocks that are in the Arrow. 90 millimeters of travel. That's a good amount of travel. So really, I mean, really, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of a larger, higher performance Arrow, and I kind of shoulder shrugged it somewhat, like, okay, well, that's nice. 62 pounds, so it's light. You know, it's relatively light for a 16-inch wheel, much lighter than a Patton V12S. Let's see, what's a V12S weigh? 77 pounds. So yeah, it's 15. That's significant. It's 15 pounds lighter than a V12S. So that's significant. I knew it was lighter. I didn't realize it was that much lighter. Has the Hall sensorless functionality. Yeah, okay, that's great. Tubeless tire. So again, this wheel has gotten really, really positive feedback so far. I know Next Gen has had great things to say about it. The Johnny Go Vroom did a review on it a couple days ago, or I don't know, a week ago, whatever, within a week, and he loved it as well. So it seems like this is a nice wheel. Now, price wise, it's what is it? 22. This is next gen pricing, so it's probably more in e-wheels. $22.99. So it's actually $100 less than a V12S right now. So yeah, if you're looking for bang for the buck, the Aeon is a pretty good deal. Now, again, the V12S is a better wheel as far as features go. Has a lot more features, a lot more creature comforts, but as far as performance goes, the Aeon is a pretty good deal. $22.99. I like my Aero, and since I like my Aero, I suspect I would like an Aeon even more. Because even though I like my Aero, I'm not comfortable going 30 miles an hour plus on the Aero. It looks like on the Aeon, that would be no big deal. The Stealth Slayer. Why am I not seeing these comments? Well, Stealth Slayer, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you're seeing all of the comments, but you are on a phone. You're seeing the vertical. You are seeing the vertical stream. I explained this in the beginning of the video. There's a new feature with my streaming platform, StreamYard, where you can stream in both vertical and horizontal formats simultaneously. The advantage of that being a vertical format is primarily used by phones, and it gets pitched. The stream gets promoted to phones a lot more when it's in vertical format. That being said, it's not as easy to read the chat, and the chats are split out. Like the vertical stream has its own chat. This has its own chat. The horizontal stream has its own chat. I see them all. The stuff that's on the screen is all of the chat responses from all the sources. If you look at the pinned comment, the pinned comment I have in the vertical stream, it has a link to the horizontal stream. If you prefer the horizontal stream, hit that link and you'll jump over to the horizontal stream. But anyways, that's a long-winded answer to why you're not seeing those comments. Mason Jazz Electrified said, I painted my patent top panel and handles in a chocolate mint color shift. It looks spectacular. I am biased, though. Well, I mean, all that matters is that you like it, right? That's all that matters, Mason, in my opinion. Marty says, if I'm on good terms, NG is not in competition with EUC Underground anymore, my first allegiance. Well, how are they not in competition with EUC Underground? Don't they both sell wheels? I don't understand that. Anyway, so Marty says, so I'm happy to be associated with Next Gen. Rob is a good guy. Yeah, I've heard lots of positive feedback from people that have dealt with Next Gen for sure. But I don't really understand how they're not a competitor for EUC Underground anymore. What does that mean? Russell Zauner said, I saw Sam Pilgrim using EUC. I've heard of Sam Pilgrim. I don't really know who he is, though. Using EUC on his channels. Anyone heard if companies are reaching out to him, or is he just randomly getting into it along with everything else he's been trying? I don't have the answer to that, Russell. Well, this is news. Liam is not selling wheels anymore. He works for Bagode now. What? When did that happen? So he's still in California, but he works for Bagode. What's he doing? That's wow. Okay. That's big news. Because he went over to China, right? A little while ago. He was over there testing the what's it called? X-Max and the Falcon Pro, all that stuff. No, I had not heard that, Marty. See, that's why it's good that you stop in, because you teach me things. But now that you mentioned that, maybe that will result in not so many people being pissed off that bought their wheels from Bagode.com. I keep seeing repeatedly in social media all these stories, and they all follow a similar plot line where it's, oh, I ordered my wheel from Bagode.com like months ago, and I still don't have it, and they don't respond to me. Anyone else, get their wheel? It sounds like a freaking nightmare, man. If you ordered a wheel from them, that was coming from China, it sounds like a freaking nightmare. And I'm just curious what role Leem, maybe Leem is going to try to fill that gap somehow. But I keep hearing story after story of people that buy directly on Bigo.com that are very, very unhappy. Dale says EUC Underground sells Bigode, Next Gen sells everything else. Well, sounds like EUC Underground doesn't sell anything anymore. Oh, Simon said NOSFET. So I wonder, Jack sent Sam Pilgrim an arrow to try. Yeah, sure. No, that makes sense. Saying it to a well-known influencer works out to be pretty efficient advertising if you didn't charge them anything beyond that. All right, I'm getting down on my list of things. It is 9:17, and I do need to watch the time. All right. Mason Jazz Electrified is saying the same thing, that NOSFET sent it to Sam. Russell says, not affiliated, but Sam has over 1 million subs. He originally was a pro mountain bike downhill guy. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. And he's been trying different PEVs. He turned up one episode with a wheel and just started sending it. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw like the thumbnail about that, but I didn't watch the video or anything. And I've heard the name Sam Pilgrim before, but I've never like watched his videos. So Marty, are you going to get a NOSFET Aeon sent to you for free as well? Just asking for a friend. All right, what else we got here? What do you think about? There seems to be like a race to, well, I call it the bottom, a race to the bottom with these people posting. Well, see, I don't know, because it seems like it's a lot of people showing screenshots of the P6 with the top speed listing, and there's been multiple people that have shown top speeds in the 80s, 80 miles an hour plus. And in those message threads, there are people just like talking casually about, oh well, I can do 60, no problem, cruise 60, and getting over 70. It gets a little hairy over 70, and I just think it's a mentality that is just, it's a road to nowhere, man. I mean, with what happened to Ryan, I mean, it's like no one learned how inherently dangerous it is to go those speeds on a one-wheeled electric balancing device. It's just it's crazy to me. I saw the video of the guy on a P6. He was racing a motorcycle, and he got a dip. He dipped at I don't know, 70 maybe, something like that. He got a dip, and luckily he saved it. And he made a post about it, and it was funny. It was kind of like, it was a post like a "Hey, look at me" post, but at the same time he said, "Oh, well, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do what I do. Do what I say," basically. And it just seems like there's a whole bunch of people playing with fire. And the P6 is an awesome wheel. The P6 has tons and tons of safety features built into it, but the P6 is not infallible. It is not infallible. So I am just, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it's unavoidable that there's just going to be something terrible that happens with someone just going crazy in a P6, thinking that there is no ceiling. because even if you don't hit the cutout on the wheel going that fast, if anything unexpected happens on the road surface, you hit a pothole, someone zigs when they should have zagged, something comes out into the road, an animal, anything going that fast, you are in a world of hurt. You are in a world of hurt, and I just don't understand the mentality of why so many people um, think it's so cool and so important to go that fast on a wheel. I just don't get it. Maybe it's me, but it does not compute um, in my brain whatsoever. Okay, Marty, in regards to Lean, he's going to be managing the direct sales for Pagode wheels in the United States. Okay. So does that mean he's going to be managing sales of wheels that exist in the United States warehouse instead of coming from China? Because it seems like managing the ones from China has not been going well, Marty. I wonder are they going to actually pay him? Because remember, supposedly a bunch of Pagode uh, workers have not been paid for a long time, months. That's a very interesting move by Leem. Just based on some of the things that we've heard about Pagode as a company, that he felt good enough about them that he was willing to take that position. That's very interesting to me. Very interesting. But I hope it works out. I mean, by all accounts, Liam's a great guy, so I hope it works out for him. Russell says, I was hoping maybe we'll get more EUC content, just proves against skills transfer. Well, maybe ASTEC will get smart and send him an NYX. If I knew what that was, I would comment further. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on one second. Dale says, isn't eRide Life doing the after sales support for Pagode in USA now? Yeah, supposedly. Well, they're doing the service work. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I know it's very rude to text and stream. I know. Marty says, hopefully, Lean will help with the sales issues. Hopefully, he can do something about the people that have already bought and have just been kind of swaying in the wind. And EUC Underground will still be supporting their sales and wheels that have been in the pipeline. Okay, good. Marty says, you're not on Jack's list of reviewers. Really? Have you pissed off Jack? I'm sorry to hear that, Marty. Marty says, yeah, I don't think I've talked to you at all, Marty, or I haven't got your commentary about Ryan. You know, Ryan, what happened to Ryan over in China. I don't think I've read any feedback from you about that. But yeah, I agree. Marty says, at this point, I really don't care about the top speed stuff. Speed kills literally. Yes, it does. Your margin of error, which is already small, gets infinitesimally smaller the faster you're going. So, um, you know, these are things you have to do. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't care about top speed. I mean, when I was riding my patent last weekend, I was doing top speed maybe 33, 34. That was plenty. That was fine. Felt fast and no desire, no need to go faster. It doesn't make me the faster I go doesn't like speed doesn't equate to enjoyment for me. Like going faster doesn't make me enjoy the ride more. So some people that's not true. I mean, some people they're speed demons and they're adrenaline junkies and they get off on it. At 58 years old, I don't. Roland Rob EUC. That's a new name in the live streams, I believe. If you've never been on live stream before, welcome, Roland Rob. What's your favorite EUC brand or distributor? Well, right now, my wheel collection is predominantly in motion. So if I can only have one brand, it would be an InMotion wheels. I love my InMotion wheels. I have 5 InMotion wheels and 2 non-InMotion wheels. And InMotion is a distributor as well. If you're talking dealers, I've had affiliations with eWheels forever. So if we're talking dealers, I would still recommend eWheels primarily. I used to recommend Speedy Feed as well, but Ian's kind of just dropped off the face of the earth as far as wheels go. I don't think I ever mentioned this on the stream. I did have a text conversation with him saying, "Hey, what's up? You moved into this new space, but we don't see anything of you on social media anymore." And he said basically that it was an issue with him getting the wheels and also the crackdown on PEVs in the UK. Let's see if I can find that chat. So I did want to talk about that, and I forgot about it because Ian was one of the guys that actually got me interested into EUCs years ago, back in 2016 or whatever, 2015. And he was doing live streams. He had tons of YouTube content on a regular basis. He was reviewing wheels, and then within the last 2 years or so, he just kind of disappeared. And I think he has some health issues as well. That's not coming up. Frickin' Messenger. Well, we'll see if that loads. But anyways, he said there's a number of issues. So he only has a few wheels on his site, and it's none of the big new wheels. Like he has V9s and stuff like that. But there's just been all sorts of issues that has really cracked down on his ability to sell wheels. Marty's going to stay under 35 miles an hour from now on. Good, Marty. I think I primarily will be as well. I will for the vast majority of my time running. If I get over 35, it would only be for a brief period of time, and probably unknowingly. Dale agrees the wheels are already faster than I'm comfortable riding. Other things are more important to me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a lot more important things in my life to be concerned about than riding 50 miles an hour. If this is my list of priorities in life, riding 50 miles an hour is down here. Really. Marty says he doesn't know any more details regarding Leem and Pagode. Yeah, I'm sure he's working for free. Sarcasm noted, Marty. Leem is on great terms as I am with Kibai. How do you pronounce his name? Kobe? Kobe? I thought it was like Kibai. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Yeah, I know you're in great terms with him, Marty. I mean, you guys seem to be like pen pals, basically. It's great. Congratulations. It's a dream come true for you, I guess. Russell says, I wasn't going to ask how Pagode fared in opinions at CES this year. Well, Pagode wasn't even at CES, right? They don't go to there. They don't go to CES, do they? EUC is reaching the point I found when traveling by motorcycle only. After the second time I got hit, I got rid of the street bikes. Well, that happens. I I talked about in a live stream or one of the videos I shot how I was told that supposedly the U.S. market actually has somewhat plateaued, if not gotten smaller recently. Combination of wheels being expensive, so people are not buying wheels as often, and also in general, more people leaving the hobby than getting into it, um, which surprised me when I heard that. But I guess it makes sense. A lot of people, if they have a serious accident on a wheel, they do a risk tolerance assessment, and a lot of people come up with the conclusion that uh, this amount of risk, I can't tolerate this in my life. It's not worth it. So yeah, supposedly the EUC market in the United States is not growing at the rate that I thought it was, and it may not be growing at all right now. At least in terms of new wheel sales. I mean, I don't think they have a way to accurately estimate how many actual riders they are, active riders. But at least in terms of sales, the numbers are not increasing. Russell has a now. Oh, you trailer a dirt bike and ride it over land and boondocking. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, street bikes. I mean, it's odd because it seems hypocritical. I've had 3 motorcycles in my life, and I sold them, and I actually had one when I lived in Florida for a period of time. My dad gave me one of his old motorcycles, and I got rid of it. And the reason I got rid of it is because riding a motorcycle in Southwest Florida is very dangerous because there's so many. I mean, everyone is distracted nowadays. Everyone's on their cell phone, right? Unless you have Tesla full self driving. Everyone's on their cell phone nowadays. They're distracted. There's tons and tons of elderly drivers here in Southwest Florida that just have no clue. They can't turn their necks to see what's coming. They have terrible depth perception. So I never even considered riding a motorcycle in Florida. Yet here I am riding bike lanes next to active traffic on a regular basis on a one-wheeled electric balancing device. So yes, there definitely is some hypocrisy there. But yeah, I would never buy a motorcycle. Bart Bartstead. That's a new name for me in the live stream. Supposedly, InMotion took over the rights to Fast Ace, and Libra Kim doesn't want to use them anymore. Really? Really? Because that's interesting. Because I remember the P6, they specifically said it doesn't have Fast Ace suspension, even though it's Fast Ace like. Okay. So that's why Libra Kim doesn't want to use them anymore. That's interesting. Someone know more about the story. Makes sense why they changed with the Oryx and Lynxes. Yeah, I guess so. Interesting. It is part of the reason that I enjoy these live streams is I do pick up information that I would not know otherwise. Marty says, "You're lucky I don't have my voice mod going, Marty." Watching Duff text is great content. Well, maybe if you saw what I was texting, Marty, you would think it is great content. You don't know what I was texting. It could have been really, really good stuff. Roland Robb says, "Nice. I've been practicing on my V9 to get comfortable with it before I start to make content. Cool. Well, you will join the vast, vast, vast collection of EUC riders that post content on social media. It used to be literally a handful of people that did that, and now there's hundreds of people that post content on social media." Marty says, "People assume that you will always just slide if the wheel fails, but if you hit an immovable object, it's really bad." Sure, of course. Yeah. And especially if you're riding that fast around vehicles, whether parked or moving. I mean, imagine going that fast and you fall and you wind up going into a lane of traffic coming at you. You're done, right? You're done. So, yeah. You are done. I'm just curious, like when people see and they actually, if they, I don't know how many people actually even think deeply about things anymore nowadays. But if they just think about, what happened to Ryan, a young kid, had his whole future in front of him, and he loved EUCs, he loved going fast, he loved doing things, and to have his life extinguished in that manner, if I just wonder how many people it actually gives pause to, like they take a second and they reflect and they think about, is it worth it? Is it worth that momentary, uh, high of going that fast when I factor in what can really happen? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, but I just wonder how many people actually, uh, thought about that when they see something a tragedy like what happened with Ryan. I hope they would, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in human beings in general. Roland Rob, what state or area are you based in? I live in Southwest Florida. Oh, this is my second to last thing to talk about. There's something on social media that in Virginia they are introducing legislation. It's not approved. It's not a law, but they're introducing legislation which would require PEVs, whether there be electric bikes or one-wheeled PEVs, to have insurance and registration. Um, Interesting, right? And I'm positive that there's no insurance companies that actually do that right now, but they are introducing legislation for that because they're so prevalent. E-bikes are everywhere down here, and I don't think it's as much as a safety thing as it's a kind of a money grab. It's another way for the state to make money, right? If they're going to get registrations for all these PEVs out there, so it's going to be interesting to see if that actually happens. Um, And even if they were registered and insured, I think they still would fall under the restrictions that are generally seen for PEVs, which at least with electric bikes is 28 miles an hour max speed and a 750-watt motor. But I'm curious how many people think that that's a good trade-off. Like if even though you have to pay, probably between insurance and registration hundreds of dollars a year, is that a trade-off for you to be able to ride legally in your state? Now, I already know Marty's answer. Marty be like, "Hell no, there's no way I'm doing that." Um, but I think it's coming. I think it's coming. You know, and like I said, not so much for the safety viewpoint, but it's just another revenue stream because there are so many PEVs out there, and it's not like states don't pay attention to what other states are doing. I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of legislation introduced elsewhere, but it is currently in the pipeline in Virginia. Dale says there is a motorcycle safety video from Australia demonstrating that exact thing. Yeah. Oh, about hitting immovable objects. Yeah. Russell says even with full armor, I've never felt safe riding an EUC anywhere near where cars are. I admit now, last wheel I bought was an S22. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go, Russell. You're an example of why EUC sales are not what they once were. And yeah, I agree. You can be armored to the max. If you hit an immovable object, guess what? You're going to lose. You're going to lose no matter what you're wearing. Marty says the fees is in the UK, and yeah, I know, Marty. That's true. And his song goes, I don't. I wish I could find that text conversation I had with Ian, but it's not loading. It's not loading on Facebook. Let's see. Let's try. Let's try. Let's see. Try a different way. Stupid Facebook. There's a way to open the chat in Messenger is like a separate web interface, or I don't know. Anyways, Ian is having distribution issues and legal issues that have limited his. Let me look at his site. Let me see what he has up there right now. Like what the newest wheel is that he has. Speedy Feet UK. Let's add to the stage. Oh my goodness. He has 2 wheels on here. Wow, it's even worse than it was. A V9 and an S22 Pro. That's it? Oh, yeah. S16 Pro sold out. V10F sold out. He has 2. Oh, wait. The V9 sold out. The only wheels he has is a Kingsong S22 Pro. Wow. Times have changed. That's crazy. I mean, last time I was here, he had I don't know, like a half a dozen different wheels available. He has nothing new at all. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's holding out of the EUC space. I don't know. That's crazy. I did not expect that. Okay, in regards to the Gotway president, many pronounce it is okay. I'm going to say it 2 ways. You say number 1 or number 2, Marty. Which one is correct? Kobe or Kobe? Which one of those is correct? Marty's waiting for a Falcon Pro next, a couple of weeks maybe. What, another? That's going to be free as well? Of course, free. Falcon Pro doesn't interest me at all. I mean, obviously, it looks way, way better than the Falcon, but yeah. Marty agrees that the market is saturated. EUC, okay, so I guess you're not that surprised that growth is no longer the trend with EUCs. The COVID effect is wearing off. So when you say the COVID effect, you mean what? Because everyone was at home, they wanted wheels to like keep them busy? Like, what's your interpretation of what the COVID effect was? Russell says, that being said, I've been kind of casually studying wingsuit-based jumpers lately to see if there's an answer to solving the finite wind resistance barrier to something like Bonneville Speedweek. Oh, really? That's an interesting thing to study. Okay, so Marty says the Oryx still uses fast ace. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that. Well, yeah, I mean the Lynx S is the first wheel to not use fast ace. The first veteran wheel, right? Dale says I was sending a certain kind of picture. No, I'm proud to say I've never done that in my life, Dale. It just never seemed like a good idea. Yes, I mentioned this Mason Jazz Electrified that Libra Kim is doing suspension in-house now. Yes. Roland Robb says, as far as I know, I'm the only one around here, at least in my town, seen a few e-boards and a good number of e-bikes, though. There's a few EUC riders in this area. I would say I will be surprised if it hits double digits, though. There's not a lot. And really, I don't ride with anybody normally. The only time I really ride with anybody is if someone is out of town and arranges with me to ride with me. That's really the only time I ride with anybody at this point. Marcus Sweden, who is Ryan and what happened? Ryan Chin. He was part of the group that went over to China and was testing Begode wheels, and he had an unfortunate accident when doing a high-speed test, and he passed away as a result of the accident. I believe he was 27 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And I met him. I met him because he actually would split his time between Florida and California. So I actually rode in a group ride with him down here in Florida. Great kid. Great kid. I was really sad when I heard what happened. So Marty did reflect as a result of that accident, and you're slowing down. Most don't think, I suspect. Yeah, no, I agree, Marty. I think most don't think. That is true. Everyone has to decide what they're okay with. It's just a shame when someone doesn't think, and then something really shitty happens, and then they wish that they did, right? And then it's too late. Russell says you could get uninsured motorist insurance, then so if someone hits you, you get a new wheel. I don't. Well, no, you could only do that if your wheel was insured, right? At least that's the way it works with a car. Simon says, I had a friend called James who died riding his wheel. After that happened, I slowed my riding speed right down. I never ride fast anymore, but still enjoy riding just as much. Yeah, I mean, for me, speed has never been a significant component of my enjoyment of riding wheels. From early on, I mean, riding wheels to me was just about freedom. It was about exploring. It was about doing things and going spots that you just wouldn't go otherwise, and that you couldn't go otherwise on a car or on a bike because it's too far or too rough of terrain. It was always about that. It was never about having the world fly back or fly by you in a blur. I mean, you don't. I mean, when you're going that fast, you're not enjoying anything. I mean, you're just the world is just flying by you, and I don't see the great enjoyment in that. It's funny. I almost equate it to road biking. Like I have a road bike. I don't road bike consistently anymore. Well, actually, I haven't road biked since I moved here actually to my new house. But with road biking, like when you ride a bike, it was like an enjoyable thing, right? When you're riding a bike casually. But when you're road biking, you're trying to push pace. You're trying to go fast. You're trying to get your heart rate up. You are down on the pedals. I'm sorry, you're down on the handlebars and you're looking 10 feet in front of you. You're looking at the road. You're not even looking around you. You're just trying to go, 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 push pace, push pace. And it's miserable. It's miserable. And you're just doing it to try to build up your cardio base and it's no fun. So that's kind of the same feeling I have when it comes to riding fast on an electric unicycle. You're not um you're not taking anything in. You are just experiencing the tunnel of speed, and that doesn't do it for me. But obviously, it does it for other people, which is okay. Everybody's different. But then when you factor in the risks associated with going that fast, you know, maybe you should think again. Russell says expanded bike lanes with actual bike traffic management would be great. There are a few new bike lanes here that are separated from the road and the sidewalk. Yeah, that's ideal. Like down here, they have bike lanes on a lot of roads, but they're separated by a 5-inch white line, and that's it. And the bike lanes are only, I don't know, 4 feet wide, maybe three. I'm not quite sure. Russell says it's all terrible. How can we have fun and get the same shot of adrenaline and endorphins without the knowledge of mortal risk? I don't know. Dale says COVID was the best thing to happen to the EUC industry. Well, it was, but it also corresponded with the pricing of EUCs going through the roof. So that wasn't so great. Marty says a ton of people got into EUCs during the COVID years. But why do you think that is, Marty? It was just something to do? Rollins Rob just turned 28. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, keep that in mind, Rollin Rob. Hope his family finds peace. Yeah. I just can't imagine what his family is going through. I'm skipping through comments here because I got to shut this down soon because we're getting close to 10 o'clock. Blah, blah, blah. GRB 69. The benefits of riding an EUC are extraordinary. Even if I died tomorrow, it's very worthwhile using my body and mind. And as an addiction, it's a great substitute for other unproductive activities. If I died riding an EUC, would I think that it was worthwhile? Probably not. No, probably not. I mean, is there a worthwhile reason to die? I don't know. I don't know that I have any, but off the top of my head, I don't know that I would say, okay, well, I'm fine with dying because I was on an EUC. No, I don't think that. I don't think I would feel that way. Marty says, as many people don't even have health insurance who ride EUCs, it's really going to mess up their life when they break something. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. There's so many stories of people literally having their lives destroyed financially from medical bills. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, that's a whole different discussion. The medical/insurance industry in the United States, it's horrible, man. It's horrible. Marty says pricing didn't really jump into the last couple of years. No, what? You crazy, Marty? Do you remember how much they jumped with COVID and the prices of shipping containers? They jumped dramatically, man. I mean, the prices seem lower now compared to then, but I mean, compared to what they were prior to COVID, they jumped a ton, man. I mean, I don't have it documented exactly how much they jumped, but they jumped a lot. Okay. Oh, and that concludes my list of talking points. See, Marty, aren't you proud of me? I actually wrote down things for the live stream. I remember when you and I did the live stream out in California, in your shop. You had notes written down, and at the time, I think I made fun of it, but actually, it does help to do so. And I did mention, Marty, early in the stream. I've been actually going back and listening to all of my prior live streams, starting back in, when did we start? 2018, 2017? I don't remember. From the very first PEV live stream, I'm now up to PEV live stream 54. And this is 121, just for reference. PEV live stream 54, which was on New Year's Eve 2021, which was the year that Cindy and I split. So on that year, I streamed because I was really in a bad state of mind. And I live streamed on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve that year. And this is the New Year's Eve broadcast. Did I say Christmas Eve? This is the new 54 is the New Year's Eve broadcast. And it's like, I don't know, 4 hours and change. It's crazy. But it's interesting as I've been listening back to these old live streams, how opinions changed over the years and what we thought was going to be big and turned out not to be big, and things that we thought wouldn't be that big of a deal turned out to be a big deal, and things that we thought were expensive then really aren't expensive at all compared to what they are now. So it is kind of interesting for me to go back and listen to those. And any of you can do that, actually, because all those live streams are on all the major streaming platforms. So feel free. Dale says, in Australia, we just have to worry about not being able to work. Medical part is free. Yes. Well, most modern countries have healthcare as part of the things that citizens get. In the United States, they've made it a profit leader. Insurance, um, medical field, pharmaceuticals. It's big bucks, man. It's a major source of money for businesses in the United States. I heard somewhere, I didn't realize this. There's only 2 countries in the world where pharmaceutical companies are able to advertise their products, their pills, their shots, whatever they're selling. And they are the United States and New Zealand. As from what I saw in this piece that I watched, there's no other countries in the world that are allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals other than the United States and New Zealand, which is crazy. And if you've ever watched network TV, now a lot of people don't watch network TV anymore, but if you do, like for instance, if you watch the evening news, the national evening news in the United States, the commercials are like 75% drug ads. It's just nonstop drug ads. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, I mean the system is so effed up. It's so effed up. And the sad part is there's absolutely no way it's going to change because there's such money controlling uh, the lawmakers that there's never going to be any sort of significant change to the way that medicine and pharmaceuticals are handled in the United States. Just not, because the people that make the decisions are being paid off by the people that are making all the money. So it sucks, sucks. And when you say, and it doesn't matter that the rest of the world is doing it another way. There's this American attitude that, hey, doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. This is America. We do it our way. Well, if you've been a victim of what happens when you have significant medical bills with limited or no insurance in the United States, you know a much different reality. Sucks. Russell says people are building some PEV in the U.S. now. It's only a matter of time before EUC get there. Who? I mean, Future Motion makes the one wheel in the United States, and they're making their new Antic bike in the United States. But who else is making PEVs in the U.S.? It's news to me. Marty says 90% of Americans have health insurance. It only sucks for the 10%. That's not true, Marty. That's not true. Having health insurance and being able to afford health insurance are two different things. Having health insurance where it's costing you $2,000 a month for health insurance, you think that's not a problem? And now, if I don't even was it officially, was it the Senate or House of Representatives passed the extensions of the Obamacare discounts for health care? Because if that does not happen, the insurance premiums for a whole bunch of people they're ridiculous. They're like mortgage payments. So that I don't agree with that at all, Marty. Just having health insurance does not mean that it's affordable or good. You had the benefit of having fantastic health insurance. I had the benefit of having good health insurance, and it doesn't cost me much at all. But I realize that there are tons of people that is not the case. They're paying tons of money for shitty health insurance. That has high deductibles, caps and coverage. It's a freaking joke. It really is. Marty says your live streams is a great history of EUCs. You probably started in 2017. Well, you and I started at the same time, Marty. So I don't know. I can go back and look. I don't remember off the top of my head. Duff wants to pay more taxes. No, nobody wants to pay more taxes, Marty. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. And I'm not a big fan of entitlement. And I think there's way too many people that they abuse the system, where these government structures that are designed to help people when they're down, and the intent is to help them when they're down, and then get them up to the point where they can again become self-supporting, productive members of society. Instead, there's this mindset where there's people that want to just become professional welfare takers, that they don't want to work. They just want someone else to pay for them to exist. I don't support that mentality at all. I don't. But at the same time, when it comes to healthcare, see, I mean, it's funny because I see aspects on both sides. I think that nobody should be have their lives destroyed because they got sick, right? But at the same time, I think that people that are walking around morbidly obese because of their lifestyle choices, that pisses me off. Why am I supporting someone that is willingly making the decision to poison their bodies and to destroy their health? I think that's ridiculous as well. The question is, what do you do about that? What do you do? Do you cut them off? Do you let them die? No, no, you can't do that. So there's a lot of shit that it rubs me the wrong way, because I'm empathetic. I think people deserve to be supported when they need it, but I don't think people should make a living out of being supported, right? And I think Marty probably feels the same way. Although I do think that healthcare should be something that should be universally offered to everybody, just like most of the modern world. Oh, wow, Marty, you're old enough to be in Medicare? You're 65. Oh my God, Marty. Now that I'm on Medicare, my health insurance costs are actually going up a lot since I'm not on SS. Medicare bills me. Didn't you get a supplement? I thought that was the move. Once you get a Medicare, you get the supplement deal. My mom had that. GRB says, how about an AI summary that highlights changes of viewpoints as EUCs evolve using the context of your historical live streams? Now, that would be a possibility. Sounds like a lot of work for not a lot of reward, though, from my perspective. Roland Rob, I'd rather my taxes go to universal health care than bailing out corporations. Amen. Yeah, exactly, Rob. That's true. And all that stuff is hidden. All that truth, the actual truth of what's going on and where the money is actually being diverted is hidden because there's so much effort by people pulling the strings to pit everyone against each other. So everyone focuses on, the Republicans are assholes, the Democrats are snowflake liberal idiots. That is intentional. That is intentional to get everyone so pissed off at each other that no one pays attention to what actually is going on. And yeah, I mean, the way that huge corporations benefit from the decisions that are being made is heinous. It's heinous. While we're fighting about universal health care. It's crazy. Unless it's urgent medical care that is needed, the rest of the world has to wait a lot longer for service. I don't know, Marty. I've heard that in some situations, but I also heard that that's greatly exaggerated as well. Of course, you can find situations where that is true. But if you have a emergency and you have to go to the hospital in the United States, um, you're gonna get absolutely destroyed with bills because like emergency is the worst case scenario, right? That's when you have to have medical care. If that happens in a country that has universal health care, okay, they hopefully they fix your problem and you go on with your life. In the United States, you're effed. If you have poor insurance or no insurance, you are effed. So I'm fine with waiting a little bit if my emergency and my highest medical bills or potential medical bills would be covered. I'm okay waiting extra for routine things. But that's just me. And to me, I mean, there's a reason, Marty, that the rest of the world has done this, right? You would think. I mean, I think Americans fall into the into the trap that that the we know best in everything, right? We know the best. So even if everyone else is doing things a different way, we know best. I don't believe that's true. In some situations we do, but there's a number that we don't. Marty says, I do think it all sucks. I just don't want the government taking it over. Yeah, no, I understand that sentiment because I mean the government is obviously inefficient. Although the government is running your Medicare, Marty, right? It's running your Medicare, which is your primary health provider now at this point, and you're still alive. Roland Robb says, I'd rather wait longer than be broke or in debt. I would say that the vast, vast, vast majority of Americans would agree with you in that statement. Marty says the problem is too many people want to suck on the teat. Waste. Well, I wouldn't call it waste. I'll call it fraud. Yeah, no, there are. There's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of people that are trying to get something for nothing, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I think that's human nature. You know, I think it's kind of human nature, and it's unfortunate. I don't know. What's the fix? How do you fix human nature? I don't know. Simon says in Australia, you pay 2% more income tax than the US and have completely free healthcare. I'm happy that tiny bit more for the benefit of not having to worry about healthcare costs. Yeah, no, I would make that trade in a second. I would. Marty says everyone pays at least 205 a month for Medicare. And if you're, yeah, but that comes out of your Social Security, right? And if your income is high, it can be as much as 700 a month. There is no subsidy unless you are retired and poor. Yeah, I know there's no subsidy for Medicare. It comes out of your Social Security check. So, which is another entitlement, Marty. I can't believe that you would accept Social Security. What the heck? Roland Rob's heading out. Thanks for the live stream. Good night. Yeah, I'm heading out soon too. Marty says the rest of the world can have cheaper health insurance because the US protects the world. I would find that point highly debatable that protecting the world has anything to do with our health insurance costs. And Medicare sucks. Well, like I said, you didn't get a supplement, Marty? I thought that was near. Maybe you don't know about that, Marty. I thought that was like a near requirement is to get a supplement. Like my mom had a supplement on her Medicare. And when she passed away, I mean, she had a heart attack, and then but then she was in like a vegetative state, and she was in the hospital for I don't know 2 weeks, something like that, before she passed away. And I'm sure there was immense medical bills associated with that. Right, 2 weeks in the hospital, and we paid nothing between Medicare and the supplement. We paid nothing, so I didn't think that sucked. It surprised me actually. Leo, what's up, buddy? You made it. You made it just as we're going to be closing down. Nice, Leo. Welcome to the stream and good night. GRB says my local UCSF hospital collects 4.5% of the billed amount for those with private health insurance. They collect about 43% of the bill for state-funded health insurance plans. It's a grift, yeah. Um, it's all so dirty, man. It's so dirty. Leo's in D. You're in DC. What are you doing in DC instead of Brazil, Leo? What the heck, man? But I'm not. Why are you not getting Social Security, Marty? Oh, well, okay. Well, then that's your decision, right? Are you waiting? Are you waiting till 67 to maximize your Social Security? I always read that that's in most situations that doesn't make any sense to wait to get your Social Security. I've always heard that you're best served to collect it as early as possible at 62 because it takes a very long time to break even if you wait until the maximum age to collect Social Security. Because that's my plan. I mean, I plan to get it as early as I can when I retire. Yes, Leo, you did make it officially. Duff, clearly you don't understand how Medicare works. You will in 7 years. No, I'm not a Medicare expert, but I do know about it based on what I dealt with my mom because I was the one that kind of handled everything when she passed away. GRB says uninsured individuals are liable for 100% of the medical debt. So Leo is working in DC and also in June he's in Philly. Oh, cool, dude. Nice. Maybe you can catch a Phillies game. Marty, this is kind of a silly statement. The rest of the world doesn't pay much in their defense, and that's why they can afford health insurance for everyone. Well, no, the United States makes the decision to invest a ridiculously high amount of their annual budget on defense. Their defense budget, I don't remember. It's like, God, I've seen the number somewhere. It's like times over more than multiple countries combined what they spend on defense. And why do you think that is, Marty? Do you think it's because they want to defend the rest of the world, or do you think it's because they want to make a lot of money for defense contractors? What do you think? The military war machine, how much money that generates. It's all about money, Marty. Come on, man. Come on. You worked for a company that dealt with military contracts. Come on, man. Come on. You're waiting for 70? Oh, Marty, that is such a mistake. Oh my God. Hold on. I mean, I know you don't need it. I know you don't need it. It's basically rolling the dice. If you expect to live till you're very old, Marty, that's great. If you clock out at 71, it's not so great, right? Um, but in your case, I mean, you are financially stable, obviously, based on your addition and your renovations, Marty, which look amazing, by the way. I mean, it looks crazy. It's I can't believe the addition and renovations you're doing to your house. They really look awesome. So obviously, money is not a problem for you. But for the average person, waiting until 70 to collect Social Security does not make financial sense. That's my statement, and I'm sticking by it. Dale says USA spends nothing on defense; they spend it all on attack. Yeah. Well, it was very important that they renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. One of the brilliant moves since Trump's come into power a second time. So, all I can do is roll my eyes, man. Yes, GRB, it's Department of War. So silly. Okay, Leo has some numbers. The U.S. spends more than the next 20 countries combined. Like Marty thinks that that's a good thing, I guess. It's not a good thing, Marty. It's not. It's not a good thing. Marty says, I didn't think it was controversial that the U.S. subsidies the defense of the free world. I mean, it's not. I mean, they obviously are an important part of it, but it's not like it's all on the United States back, Marty. I mean, come on. I mean, really? Um, and like I said, there's an abhorrent amount of the U.S. budget that is dedicated um, to the defense budget. It's crazy. It's disproportionate. Again, this is another situation where you look at the rest of the world, and they're spending this percentage, and the United States is spending this percentage, and because America knows best, it makes sense. It makes sense to spend that much money on defense or war, whatever. Marty says it's a mistake if you don't think you're going to live long. I would have thought you anticipated living long. Now, actually, I anticipate the opposite, Marty. I anticipate not living long. Hopefully, I do, but I mean, my mom died at 67, so that's always been in the back of my mind. I don't know, and I don't want to live long. Like if I don't have my health or my mental facilities, I don't want to live long. Why would I want to? GRB says Marty's planning to live forever, so his logic is irrational from a position of moderate wealth. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that statement. Marty, we want Australia as our 51st state. I thought it was going to be Greenland, right, or Canada. Yeah, luckily for Dale, they haven't targeted Australia yet as a potential resource. Because we don't want Russia or China to take over Australia, so we better do it first. Scamster back took the links for a lunch run. Nice. I'm heading out soon, Scamster. I'm already have streamed longer than I expected. When did I say it was a good thing? I was just stating facts. Well, you act like we have no choice in the matter. Like we have to spend all this money, and that's why we don't have the money to have universal health care for U.S. citizens. That's not true. It's because there's such a insidious infiltration of military contractors that have deep connections to the U.S. government that are getting filthy rich, uh, providing weapons for the United States. It's crazy. It's just it's madness, and much like everything else, it won't change, right? It won't change because it's so ingrained in politics. So many of our politicians are bought and paid for. It won't change. It won't. It's and I used to get really bent out of shape about this stuff and get really pissed off, but I just came to the point where I'm like, that it's the way it is, and I don't short of society burning to the ground, I don't and rebuilding, I don't understand how it's going to ever change, really. Scamster says Australia doesn't need to defend ourselves generally. Well, that's nice. PJ's mom is 90, so drives and goes for walks every day. Good for her. I hope that's me someday. I don't know. If I made it to 90, I would be amazed. But remember, Marty, I do have a pension. I mean, I know you have a pension too, but I do have a pension. So I do have money that will be coming to me as long as I'm alive. Oh, Marty just got his Lynx S batteries. Good, man. Hurry up. Put them in real quick so you can get out a video before Zen. So you can have the first Lynx S video in the United States. I think you should really do that. Marty, the profit margins of defense contractors isn't that great, actually. Okay, Marty, but don't defense contractors basically require war and conflict to be in business, right? Right? They need to provide the weapons to do all this stuff, right? So it's kind of necessary to have conflict. Leo says, just to add fuel, the cost of Medicare is also linked to the industry, linked to everything that is provided, doctors, medicine, equipment, so so they do not want to make less money. Yeah, sure. Oh shit, that's right. Marty has to paint the links first. Okay, well, I guess you won't be the first in the USA. I guess that's going to be Zen Lee. He's going to be the first in the USA with a links S video, which is weird to me, but okay. So, all right, guys, it's 10:21 my time. I need to go to work tomorrow. I need to get to bed at a reasonable time. It'd be interesting to see how many of these viewers I got on EUC Army, since this is the first time I've ever connected my live stream to EUC Army. But I do appreciate everyone that stopped by tonight, and hopefully you will see me sooner rather than later. That's all I have for now. Till next time, thank you, Marty, for stopping in. Dale, Simon, Leo, everyone else. And till next time.